Hello everyone, Drake Robinson here. Sorry, it's a little bed chronicles right now because just didn't feel like putting the shirt on. Anyways, so as you can tell by the title, yesterday evening, Charlie Kirk, who is a right wing political pundit, supporter of the current administration, politics, was unalived, was killed, frankly, while doing I guess, a debate thing, a debate panel, something outside of our college campus, which doesn't shock me. Surrounded by a bunch of, Gen Z, radical blue pillars, so Um, now I'm not gonna lie, as much as things don't surprise me anymore nowadays, considering the times we live in currently. I was a little shocked by this, but that just happened. I wouldn't have never imagined it would be someone so prominent. Well, then again, now that I'm thinking about it, they did take a shot at Trump one time, so I guess I shouldn't be too shocked. And it's just wow. We really are we really are living in barbaric times. Say what you want about times of the past, but they weren't nearly as bad as they are nowadays. No one's allowed to have a different opinion than other people without worrying about being blasted in the head or the neck or the chest or for a different viewpoint, which is unfortunate. But am I shocked? No. Should us good guys be shocked? Of course not. These are Babylonian times that we live in. These are times where the savage blue pillars have taken over. The inmates are running the asylum, as they say. This is unfortunate. His kids have to grow up, I think they were 3 and 1 years old. I feel horrible for them. You know, fatherlessness crisis in this country is very prominent, and the fact that now these kids will have to grow up without their father, it's just sad, sad. I feel for them. You know, and I guess people who knew him as well. It's just, but like I say all the time, am I shocked? No. And he's got guts. I would not. I could never be. Around so many. Just foaming at the mouth, pink hat wearing. Feminist. Just at these college campuses. Apparently it was like a snipe. It was like a sniper situation. Same thing with Trump. So like these people are like, um, you know what's funny is these people preach about like gun reform and stuff like that, but they're the ones who are like shooting people, like these I guess. And I'm not affiliated with anyone political, by the way. I don't like talking about politics. The only time I do is when stuff like this happens. But it's funny how the people who preach about gun reform, gun this, gun safety that, are the ones who actually go out and try and assassinate people. That's the irony. It's their side that preaches it, but it's their side that's going around, trying to assassinate their political rivals. I don't really see that happening from the other side, Charlie's side. I could be wrong, maybe, let me know in the comments, but I haven't seen it. Um, it's just, but anyways, I digress. Of course, people are celebrating it because that's just how the blue pillar privileged people are. They are soulless, and you know, it's just not surprising. But so I'm not even gonna waste time on them. What I will say is, you know, it's only gonna get worse. Like this is like I don't see how people like do like those panels and stuff outside. You know, where easily someone could hide in a building. Like I would, if I were a public figure, I would never do like these rallies, outside. It has to be like on the inside of a closed building with tight knit security, metal detectors. Like yes, I don't care how. I'm a cautious person as it is, so like the anxiety I would have that people are trying to assassinate me, it would just be just over the roof, especially nowadays. Like so yeah, security everywhere, closed building, no outside, no one getting on the roof or anything. It's just that would be my requirements if I were a public figure doing these stuff. I would never, although I would never, because I don't like being around blue pillar people at all. So I would never do like any of that, debate stuff. Prove me wrong. And by the way, if you have to resort to unaliving people because you can't like debate them in a free, free speech, area, you kind of just proved yourself to be the dimwit of the conversation, and you prove that your ideas aren't as good as the person who is saying them. So you kind of just lost by default there. But yeah, I don't want to make the video too long, so I feel bad for this his kids. Hopefully they grow up and relatively all right, considering the obvious circumstance. And I feel bad for the whole situation. It should never come to a point, and not only in this country but anywhere where violence is, especially something as dumb as politics, should be the answer. But that's where we are in the world of privileged blue pill Babylon. I'm out.